Hey guys, in this video I'm going to take a look at the Netgear RS300 router. This thing is, I purchased it with my own money. My old router is a Netgear, but it's getting a little long in the tooth. It's Wi-Fi 5, so I'm going to jump to 7. This is a tri-band router, and just so you have a perspective, I have fiber internet here. Right now I'm getting speeds of 926 down, 926 up, 3 feet away from the router, and through an Ethernet cable. But when I go upstairs, the speed drops off dramatically. So, I'm just trying to upgrade and future-proof myself. And I looked at a bunch of different routers, and this one seemed to be best bang for the buck. It wasn't the high end, it wasn't the absolute low end. I wanted Wi-Fi 7 and I wanted the tri-band. So if that resonates with you, that's what this video is going to be all about. Let's jump in, we'll get to it. So here we go with the unboxing. I've taken the cellophane off of this bad boy, and I'm just going to see if I can get this out quick for you, show you exactly what you get, and I'll try and make this quick and painless. I know everybody's favorite is box openings, but they're not really my favorite, so. Okay. Holy cow, a box in a box in a box. Okay, so that's the box empty. That's great. Here's the router, and I'll go way out on a limb and suggest that this is all the ancillary parts that come with it. You get, let's get started card. Ooh, very interesting, in French and English. Okay, so that's good. You get a Netgear Shield of Security document, 30 days of protection included. I think that's the Armor, Netgear Armor, which is their VPN service. They give you 30 days in French and English. You get a contact us card if you're having any problems. And you also get, an Ethernet cable. And you get your power supply. That's a bit of a brick if I ever saw one. But yeah, so pretty straightforward stuff. So you got a little bit of documentation, you've got your power supply, Cat 5 cable, and you have the router itself. I might as well take this out of the bag because I'm going to be working with it shortly to install it. Okay, so front, top, and back. And so, as I mentioned, this has 2.5 gig. This is where you're plugging in your internet cable, and you've got 2.5, 2 additional ports here, and then you've got a power on button, you've got a reset port here, and you've got a USB 3 port if you want to plug in an external hard drive and access that on your network. You can do that. Not too heavy, but it should fit on my wall where I have my existing router, and I'll show you that in a second. And so one of the things that I'm going to do in this video, and that is, I paid for this with my own money, but if I find I don't like the speeds, I was looking at, should I do mesh or should I do just a regular router? And I thought, the system I have now is not too bad. It's just the Wi-Fi on the main floor of the house that's a little bit weak. So for example, like I said, I got 926 down here in the basement. If I access Wi-Fi 3 feet away from my router, it goes to about 700 megabits per second. And then if I go upstairs, I'm lucky if I'm getting 200. I want to see if this thing will improve that situation. And my existing router, I use an extender upstairs. And so let me clear up some of the mystery about extenders. When I bought it, I thought, okay, I'm getting 926 from this. The extender is going to give me 926 where the extender is. And that's totally false. In my experience, and I've tried 2 or 3 extenders now, if you're getting, say, 1,000 megabytes down here, up on your main floor, you'll be lucky if you get a third of that. So, wireless downstairs, 700 megabits per second. Upstairs, I'm lucky if I'm getting 200. So don't think you're going to buy an extender and it's going to boost your Wi-Fi signal. That's not what it does. All it does is it captures the Wi-Fi signal that's closest to it, and it tries to give you a more secure connection to it. So I'll test this out for you. I'll show you the numbers. We'll go through the app and all that good stuff. And if I find this doesn't work, then I'm going to try a mesh system from Netgear. I think you can get one for, roughly the same price as this, but I've got a feeling this is going to be more than what I need, because going from dual band to tri-band and going from 5 to 7, you're going to get over double the speed. So let's test it out and see if that's true. Okay guys, let's start off with a quick speed test, and I'm going to use Ookla, which is what I usually use, and I've got NordVPN turned off. So let's give it a go. We'll see what we get. Okay, so there you have it, 916 down and 740 up. So pretty respectable speeds. So next up, I'm going to hook up the RS300 and see what kind of difference we can get with a new Wi-Fi 7 router. It should be definitely better than this, and definitely better upstairs for sure. Okay, so I thought before we jump to the RS300, I'd just do a quick test on the Wi-Fi, and I was really shocked. I'm getting 48 megabits per second down and 78 up. Like I said, this is Saturday. Maybe everybody's watching the football game. I don't know, but that doesn't sound right to me. But the numbers are the numbers. So just remember that. So the Ethernet was 916 down, 726 up, and the Wi-Fi is 48 down and 78 up. So I'll put those numbers on the screen later if we need them. But kind of shocking results. So I'm hoping the RS300 will change that dramatically. Let's jump to it and have a look. Okay, I thought some of you might be interested in seeing my existing router setup. So there it is. It's a Netgear AC2300, and I use an extender upstairs in the living room. And like I say, you're going to get whatever you're getting downstairs. Upstairs, you're not going to get quite as good. But let's go up and do a quick test on the speed up there, and we'll see what we get. Okay, this is the living room of my house, and this is the extender I use, a Netgear. I think it's an AC1800 extender. And I'm just going to do a quick test now to see what kind of speeds I'm getting here on the main floor from the Wi-Fi. Wow, that's kind of interesting. I'm getting better speed up here off the extender than I'm getting downstairs 3 feet away from the router. That's weird. So 81 down and 16 up. Very interesting. Okay guys, so I have the new RS300 set up, and I'm going to do my first speed test here with it. Well, this is probably my 4th or 5th. But anyways, just so you can see. And so this speed test is from my main PC to the router, which is like literally 2 feet away. The router is just sitting behind my monitor here. So let's hit go. We'll see what happens. So there's 875. I'm not going to worry about the 0.88. We'll just call it 875. So 875 and 759. So 875 and 759. Now let's just check and see if... Okay, so what I'm going to do is let's pause NordVPN, and then we'll run another test and just see. My sense is it'll speed things up a little bit. Not much probably, but try and give it to you guys real. Okay, so that basically shows you your VPN slows your speed down a little bit. So we got 943 on the down. And we got 828 on the up. Okay, so 943 and 828. No VPN. The real test is going to be the living room upstairs. But before I do that, let me test the Wi-Fi down here. And okay, so I am using Ookla speed test again, and we'll test it again. Let's see what we get. .663 on the down and 680 on the up. 663 down and 680 up. In the office. Okay, so that's the main PC tested. That's the Wi-Fi tested. Now let's go upstairs and see how the results are. And one thing I didn't do before is I'm going to go out in my garage where I get dismal Wi-Fi, and we'll test that. Usually I'll get like, I don't know, 15 or 20 megabits per second, maybe 25 sometimes. So we'll test out there and see what we get as well. Okay guys, so as you can see, I'm upstairs in the living room here. And there's one significant difference this time. With the TV set, if you look to the right, there's no extender. So the speeds I'm going to get today are coming right off the RS300, which should be kind of interesting. Okay, and I'm just going to hit test again. So we've got 207 down. And 7.8 up. Okay guys, so I'm standing out in the garage here, and let's run another test and we'll see what kind of numbers we're getting out here, because in the past the speed in the garage has been pretty dismal. So let's give it a shot. Just bear with me here. I'll hit test again. Holy smokes. So that's 88 down. That's like way over double. That's almost 4 times what I used to get out here in the garage. And 50 up. That is phenomenal. And keep in mind, that's with no extender beside the TV set. I don't have an extender out here. I actually have a company that sent me this cheesy little extender for, for me to test, and I might give that a go out here, but I don't need it. So with this router, from what I've seen so far, you're effectively going to get double everything. In the living room there, getting like 780 megabytes down, but low speeds going up. Well, who needs the upload, right? Like at the TV set, it's all down. You're downstreaming videos and stuff like that. It's downstairs where I can use the 926 up, which is what I'm getting off of the main computer. So that's pretty dang good. That's a pretty good testament right there to what you're going to get going from Wi-Fi 5 to Wi-Fi 7. And I've set the RS300 so that the Netgear RS300 decides which is the best of the 3 bands for the device that I'm logging on with. So if it's my phone, it might put me on Wi-Fi 6 if I'm right close to the router. If I'm further away, it might be putting me on 2.4 gigahertz. And I've got a lot of things out here in the garage, like these lights, like the Echo Dot. All of that are connected, and the RS300 allowed me to use my old Wi-Fi name and password. So I didn't have to reprogram all these devices. Thank God for that. Oh my God, that would have been such a pain. Okay, guys, so it's time to crunch some numbers to give you the overall perspective. So the locations, basically, you know, my main PC with a Cat5 cable 2 feet from the router, Wi-Fi in my office right here beside the PC and beside the router, which is 2 feet away. The living room Wi-Fi upstairs, that's the big one, and the garage, which was really surprising. So now we're talking about megabits per second results with Netgear AC2300 dual band Wi-Fi router. So that's my old router with Wi-Fi 5, and then I'll be comparing to the RS300 tri-band Wi-Fi router with Wi-Fi 7 router. So from the main PC, 916 down, 740 megabits per second up. That's pretty good, like really good. This is, you know, basically I'm paying for 1 gig Wi-Fi. In the US, I know you guys can get like 5 gigs, I think, maybe even higher. But here in Canada, we don't have a lot of providers. So, but this is still really good for content creators. So no real issues. So when I tested with the RS2300, 875 down, 759 up with NordVPN on. Turn Nord off and you get a boost. 943 and 828 up. So just be aware of that. If you know, I do that quite often sometimes if I'm, you know, browsing the net, doing shopping or whatever, and the internet seems to be a little slow, I'll just turn Nord off for 5 minutes or something like that. I probably won't need to do it now because my Wi-Fi has basically been doubled with this Wi-Fi 7 router. So interesting results here. So Wi-Fi in the office right beside the PC, 48 down, 78 up. You know, pretty dismal. Now, what I did with the Wi-Fi 7 with the RS300, there's an option that you can select when you set up the router, and it basically says, do you want Netgear to select the best band for you? Because with your Wi-Fi 7 router, you've got 2.4 gigahertz, 5 and 6 gigahertz bands. And so 6 is the fastest, 5 is a little bit slower, 2.4 is the slowest, but 2.4 gives you a greater distance. So I just decided to let the router pick, you know, the band that's best for the device that's logging on. And these are the results that I got. Now, so 48 down, 78 up. Look at the boost, 663 down and 680 up with my iPhone 13. You know, pretty dazzling difference there between the two. Living room Wi-Fi upstairs. Another big difference here. 81 down, 16 up, 663 down, 680 up using the iPhone 13. Now, another thing that I did when I moved into this house is I ran a Cat 8 cable. So I have a Cat 8 cable going from my router to my Apple TV. So, you know, because I watch a lot of YouTube and that's the stream from the Apple TV. So I wanted maximum speeds. So I couldn't find a way to test it though, but I'm pretty sure I'm getting these kind of speeds up there through that Cat 8 cable. And it was just a way to future proof. But anywho, I digress. So the living room Wi-Fi upstairs is really quite impressive. And then I decided to go out in the garage where I've had terrible Wi-Fi. Now, and keep in mind, when I was using my Wi-Fi 5 router, I had an extender upstairs, AC1800 from Netgear, and now I don't need it. So in my garage, I used to get 25 down, 7 up. Now I'm getting 88 down and 50 up using the iPhone 13 with no extender. And the good folks at NewFast sent me this little gizmo out not too long ago. And I did a test on it, but I wanted to wait until now when I had my new router installed and just see if this makes any difference. So I think that's the next thing that I'm going to show you is what you might get with this. So extenders, here's the deal. I played around a lot with extenders, especially with my old Netgear extender. And, you know, when I first bought them, I thought, oh, okay, so I've got 900 megabits down here. I'm going to have 900 in the garage. Forget it. So these things, basically what they do, if you've got 900 megabytes per second here in the office, out in the garage, you'll be lucky if you get 1/4 of that speed using one of these things. Now, if you're desperate, one of these might help you. secure that signal. All this does is gloms onto the closest signal, and then it creates a network that you can log into. So, you know, I would have network A from my main router, my Wi-Fi, network A, and this might be network B. It might help give me a little bit faster speed, make it a little more usability in some place, like usable in the garage. But I'm going to test this again for you and just see, you know, what the results are. I think it'll be kind of interesting. Okay, guys, so just for kicks, I thought I'd plug in this new fast extender. And I've plugged it into the electrical outlet. I got both blue lights. I've got the network set up on my phone. So let me just show you that. I can show you quick here what happens. Apologies for the bouncing video. And so let's just kill this. So this is what you're going to see. So my network is Netgear 79, but the new fast extender has created Netgear 79 Plus. Okay, that's great. So now we're going to go to my usual speed test. We'll hit go. So remember, the last time we were out in the garage, we were getting 80 megabytes per second up. Or sorry, 80 megabytes per second down. And now we're getting 15 through the new fast connection. And so 15 down, 15 up. So for me, this is of no use whatsoever. Unless I'm missing something and one of you guys wants to chime in, feel free to do so. But extenders are... I don't know, I just don't find them very valuable. So, but there's a real world test for you. So just keep that in mind if you're thinking about buying an extender. My advice would be, if you're like me, you got Wi-Fi 5 router, go get yourself a Wi-Fi 7 router like the RS300. Oh, and by the way, Costco in the US, I'm pretty sure they got Netgear to make a RS280S specifically for Costco. It's the same router as the one I have, and it's $100 cheaper. Thanks, Costco. You could have done that here in Canada. Anywho, I bought mine before all these tariffs come in, so I saved a few bucks. I should be happy. But, you know, with everything, all the testing I've done in this video, I'm pretty delighted with the results I'm getting from this RS300. So, okay, let's get to the conclusion of this video, and I'll wrap everything up for you, and then that'll be it. Okay, my friends, so let's wrap up this little soiree into Wi-Fi 7 routers. So if you're wondering whether you should buy the RS300, so there's an RS200, a 300, I think it goes to 500, 600, and 700, which is, you're getting up towards $1,000. And, you know, for the average consumer, you don't need it. So the RS200, 300, and remember that thing I told you about the RS280S from Costco in the US. So if you're stateside, I'd take a really good look at that one. It's $100 cheaper than the 300. So I have the RS300 from Netgear. It's a Wi-Fi 7 router, tri-band, and as you saw, my results were, you know, in the places where it counts, which is upstairs in the main living room. You know, the results were like way over double. And so I'm quite happy with the purchase. For me, it's just future-proofing my situation here. And everybody's situation is different. I see a lot of guys reviewing routers and they're saying, well, you know, this router is good for 2,500 square feet. This is a 1,500 square foot house, and my router is, so my office is in, you know, the far south left corner of my home in the basement. And then directly above, I've got my living room, and that's where, you know, the main TV is. That's where we sit at night when we're watching TV or surfing or whatever, up there in the kitchen, and I was getting really dramatic results from that. So I'm quite happy. I can definitely recommend this router. You saw the little test I did at the end there with the new fast thing. I mean, I wouldn't waste your money on a new fast extender. I'd be very careful of any extender, because basically they just take whatever weak existing signal you have, glom onto it, and you'll be lucky if you get 25% of that. But, you know, maybe there's somebody somewhere that can get some value out of one of those little extenders. I don't know. But I certainly won't be needing it now with the RS300. So if you found this video useful, hit the subscribe, like, notification bell. If you have questions, chime in. I'll try and answer you. I'm not a Wi-Fi expert or some, you know, engineer or anything like that. I just tried to give you real-world results that might resonate with you and might help you in, you know, if you're thinking about upgrading your Wi-Fi situation in your home or small business or what have you. So thanks again for watching. Take care. And I'll put a couple of links here to some other videos that you might find useful, and I will see you in the next one. Take care now.